is numbered. The pages are all numbered. So you're going to tell us what page you're on. See how you're going to tell us what page you're on and what problem we're on. Okay? So who has one? Joe.
Let's go 4 on 3.
Page 3. So look in the corner. Each page has a number somewhere in the corner. And you're doing number 4? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at number 4 on page 3. It says consider y equals 3 to the negative x. Okay? Now, first of all, we don't like that negative x. So what do we do when we have a negative exponent? We flip it. So this is 1/3 to the x. A negative exponent flips your fraction. So this is 1/3 to the x. Now the questions are, A, what is another way to write the equation? Right there. That's the other way to write it. Would you consider this growth or decay?
Decay.
This is absolutely 100% decay because that's less than 1. You cannot make a decision if the exponent's negative. You've got to get that exponent cleaned up. Okay? So, this is definitely decay. Now, I'm going to plot some points. Now, do I have a pretty good idea what it looks like without plotting any points?
Yes.
Yes. But if I have to plot some points, I'll set up a T-chart. What happens if I let x be 0?
1.
I get 1. Okay, I'll plot that point. What happens if I let x be 1?
1/3.
I get 1/3. What happens if I let x be negative 1?
3.
I get 3. Are you starting to see? I'll do another one. What happens if I put in 2?
1/9.
1/9. And so my curve looks like this, which is what we thought it would look like, but we were told to plot some points, so that's what I did. Okay, Joe?
Yeah.
All right. Someone else. Jake?
Number 9.
Same page?
Yes.
Same page, number 9. All right, so it is given that the log base x of 7 is 0.123, and the log base x of 2 is 0.012. And I am going to find the log base x of the square root of 7x. Okay, what does a square root mean?
1/2.
1/2 power. Square root means 1/2 power. So this is the log base x of 7x to 1/2. What do I do when I take the logarithm of something to a power? What happens to the power?
Goes in front of it.
It goes out in front. Now, what's happening to my 7 and my x?
They're multiplied by each other.
They're being multiplied. So when I take the logarithm of things that are being multiplied, I can pull them apart and add the logs. So this is going to be 1/2 the log of 7 plus the log of x. This number was given to me. So I have 1/2, that was 0.123. What's the log base
1.
x of x?
1.
1. So then whatever, take 1.123 and multiply by 1/2 or divided by 2, and that will be the answer. Jake, you're not even listening to me. I just
No.
did that problem for you.
I got it after the, you wrote the 1/2 log base.
All right. Who else has one? Let's get a girl. All right. It's my turn.
Can we do number 11 on this page?
Same page, number 11. Okay. All right. So I need a formula. which formula am I gonna need to do problem 11? PV. So let me write PV down.
Reduce the disturbance.
Okay. Alright, so now, go back to the right page. Alright, so I charge 1, 2, 3, 4 on a credit card. What is the 1, 2, 3, 4?
The commission.
That's my present value of my debt, right?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 goes right here. R is my payment,
Yeah.
and that is what I'm trying to find.
Yeah.
So I have 1 minus 1 plus. My interest rate is 0.1899 divided by 12. That's my interest rate. Using PV and FV, your interest rate is adjusted for the annualization of it. So it's 0.1899 divided by 12. That does not happen in the other formulas, right? You're supposed to practice enough to know that. What power goes up there? Negative 36. And then same interest rate on the bottom. So there's the setup. Now, we gotta get this typed in correctly. Basically, this is a very easy problem. I need R. How am I gonna get R? It's gonna be this number divided by this. So, you do it however it works for you. I like to figure out what this is, and then divide 1, 2, 3, 4 by that number. So I will type 1 minus, parentheses, 1 plus 0.1899 divided by 12, close parentheses, to the negative 36 equals. That's my numerator. Then I'll divide that by parentheses, 0.1899 divided by 12. Now I have this number on my calculator. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by second answer. And the payment amount is $45.23. So that's A. What will your monthly payment be? $45.23. What is the total amount that you'll end up paying? Well, we'll take this and multiply it by 36. And so the total amount I'll be paying is $1628.28. So basically, you're paying $400 extra. All right, Ronan, you had your hand up.
Number 11 on 4.
Page 4. Number 11. It's the same exact question.
I know, I didn't know we were gonna do that.
Okay, that's all right. So I'm not gonna do that though. I appreciate you picked it out, but I'm not gonna do it.
I
So
won't-
unless we had extra time to do it. I wanna hit all different kinds of problems.
I wanted to do number 10 on this page.
Okay, how many, okay,
We've done a
you
lot.
you were scouring through, you didn't do this last night, did you?
No, I didn't look
Jake.
at this page,
Jay?
but I did look at this.
Don't
this
lie.
page. I swear.
Alright, this is my last question for you. Which one is it?
Number 10,
On which page?
4.
Alright, so page 4, number 10. You guys, I don't think it's too much to ask you to do a little bit outside of class. You hardly have any homework in this class. I think you can spend a little time as we prepare for what, for some of you is a make or break test. Some of you it isn't, but some of you it is. Nope, I got the formula. This is a logistic function problem. So, f of t equals, is that 420? 460? What is that now?
600?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 600.
It looks like 420 to me. I'm gonna go with 420. It doesn't matter.
It's, wait, number 10?
You gotta put this.
Number 10 on page 4.
Okay.
Alright, so here's my equation.
It's 4.
Alright?
Yeah, it's 420. That's what I
This
have.
gives the number of bees
Yeah.
at times the hours. Okay, what is the maximum population of bees? 420. Why is 420 the maximum population of
limit to
bees?
growth. That's the limit
Because
to
it's the limit to growth. Isn't that your top asymptote?
Yeah.
And so you're not gonna have anything above the top asymptote. How many bees were present initially?
0.
What does that mean?
0.
Let T be
Zero.
0. Time 0 is the starting point. So, if we put in 0 for T, we get this,
Just 1. Just 2. So 2.
which is 420 over 2.
Yep.
So there were 210 bees initially, which means your y-intercept is 0, 210, if you were graphing it. How many bees were present after 1 hour? We're gonna do the same thing, we're just gonna put in 1. So I'll type this in on my calculator. 420 divided by 1 plus second ln 1. And I got 400 and,
I think we did it wrong because it's 1
Yeah,
minus
it's
T.
1 minus
It's
T.
1 minus
oh,
T.
it's 1 minus t.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, okay. So,
That'd be 0.
So that'd be,
I just say easy.
yeah.
So this one is 210.
Yep.
And this one
Wait.
is, what?
Wait. 420.
This would be, no, 420 over 1 plus e.
Yeah.
So 420,
To get the initial.
420 divided by 1 plus. I got 112, 113, 112.95. So yeah, I had the problem copied wrong, that is my fault, totally, yeah, it's 1 minus t, I didn't write it. So, we put in 0, that gave us 1 plus e on the bottom, I just typed that in, got 113. This one, when I put in 1, my expert actually came out to be 0, so I have 1 plus 1, so that one was 210. And when will there be 350 bees? So 350 equals 420 over 1 plus e to the 1 minus t.
Did you just find like?
Oh wait, no, this is like
Can't you just find an intersection if you graph?
So you could graph it with intersections, because you're gonna have your calculator. So you could graph it with intersections, or you could multiply this over and solve from there, whatever is easiest for you, but certainly you can graph it with intersections. Okay? All right, what else? By the way, this would be 113 bees, and the answer to this one will be however many hours, right? Word problems are gonna put labels on it. Joe?
I was gonna say H on page 3 on number 1.
Page 3,
H on
1H. Page 3, 1H. Says find ln fruit of e to the 7. What does a 4th root mean?
Oh, 7/4.
So this is e to the 7/4. What happens when L and E touch each other, Joe?
They cancel out.
Answer 7/4.
Can we just do all of those? Or just do like
No, I'm gonna answer everybody's questions first. You can, I'll do one for you, Alicia, if there's one particular one.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Anybody else have a question?
Three on page 3.
Page 3, number 3. State the domain range and asymptotes. Okay. Okay, so we have y equals log x minus 2. So this goes all the way back to your BFFs, which you can't forget because they are basic. What does a logarithmic curve look like?
He says it's like one
Asymptote here, and goes out like this, right? What happens when you subtract 2?
Right, 2.
It goes right to. So now the asymptote is going to be here. It was at 0. Now it's going to be at 2. That point, which was at 1, is now going to be at 3. And it's going to have that same shape. So it's going to look like that. And I want to know the domain, range, and asymptotes. Okay? What's my domain?
2
to infinity. Actually, and 2 is open. 2 is open because there's an asymptote at 2. So it would be 2 to infinity. How about the range?
all real.
Yeah, range is everything. And how about your asymptote right there? X equals 2. Okay? Now, the other one is y equals 3 to the x, which is what kind of a function? Exponential. So we know what exponentials look like. Exponentials have an asymptote here. And look like that.
This one's down.
But we got a big old minus 4 on there. So that's gonna drop the whole thing down 4. So instead of the asymptote being at 0, it's gonna be at -4. And it's gonna have the same kind of shape, so it's gonna look like that. So what's its domain? Oh, yes, negative infinity to infinity. What's its range? -4 to infinity, and the -4 would have to be open, because asymptotes are never included. Okay, so those are easy questions, if you remember what your BFF looked like, right?
Does the 3 change anything? Like,
No. I mean, if I graph 3 to the x minus 4 and 2 to the x minus 4, the points, the individual points would be different, but the shape would be exactly the same.
We do
2 A or B on 3.
Are you just now picking these out?
No, I do circle.
you did it last night.
2, 2, 2A on 3?
Yeah.
How do I write an oh my gosh, how do I write an exponential function?
It's 1 plus on the very
I was
top.
telling you this when we were on the call.
I know. How do I write an exponential, what does an exponential look like?
Oh, yeah.
Y equals
B, C to the X.
Oh,
No.
y equals an A, B.
A, B to the X.
An exponential is A times B to the
My bad,
X.
my bad.
That is your exponential. Now, if we know the point 0, 4, then don't we know A has to be 4? So y equals 4b to the x. Now to find b, I'm gonna plug in the other point, so 16/9 equals 4b squared. So I'm gonna divide by 4 or multiply multiply by a fourth. Since that's a fraction, it's easier for me to multiply. That's gonna cancel, and we do a 4/9
Both sides,
equals
2/3.
b squared. So b equals 2/3, and my answer is 4 times 2/3 to the x. We've done a lot of those, guys.
We do like fractions together.
On the same page.
No, he has to do b, so since he did it last night. Alright, let's look at b now, because b is a different, it's the same problem, but I do a different equation. What does a logistic function look like?
Y equals A over 1 plus BC to the X.
Yep,
Good job. You know me.
so y equals a over 1 plus bc to the x.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So this is exponential. This is logistic. Now, there's three, you need A, B, and C, so I'm sure they gave me 3 pieces of information. The initial value is 6, the limit to growth is 18, so 18 goes on top. So now I've got, I want to rewrite it, now I've got 18 on top, okay? Now what?
18 goes on that side, 18 goes, not 18. The initial
The
value is
initial
6. 6 goes on the Y.
is 18,
Yep.
which means
C
if
is
x is
Zero.
0,
No,
Y-
6.
6 is your
Oh,
Six
6,
is your
I'm
Y.
looking at the wrong thing here. No, that's 18, this is 6. So if x is 0, y is 6.
6 plus 6b equals 8.
What happens to this right here?
1.
That's 1.
It's 1. So it's like it's not even there, right? So I'll bring this over,
Minus 6.
subtract, and it looks like b is
2.
2.
They
Not done
plug
yet,
it
you
in.
gotta plug this in.
So now we know b is 2. So then we have our third piece of information, which says that if y is 144/17, then x is 2.
Multiply both sides by multiply, or cross
So
multiply.
I would actually cross multiply in this case, since that's a fraction. So, I have a calculator to help me out here. So I'm going to,
306.
cross multiply, so I have 144 plus 288, c squared, what'd you say that was?
306.
306?
Yeah.
So now I'll subtract the 144, which is gonna be what? 162?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna divide by 288. I'm sure that reduces to something. Let's see, 2 goes in, it'd be 81. Oh, 81 over 144.
9.
How cool is that? 9/12, which reduces to 3/4. So then I can go back and put 3/4 right here. And there's my answer.
I have to root it?
She did.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
she
right,
got nine.
yeah, my fault.
Oh, you need to know the offside.
No, I thought 81 was 3%.
No, let the offside.
It does break down, but it's also a perfect square, so I just rooted it rather than reduce it. And then after I rooted it, I reduced it. That does break down, absolutely. But whatever you get when you square root it, it's gonna be 3/4. So it must reduce to 9/16.
Yeah.
I just didn't read it over right now. Okay, we'll do one more before lunch, so let's get someone from this side of the room over here. Did any of you people do what you were supposed to do last night? No. Anybody back there do what you were supposed to do? Anna, Grace, London,
6.
huh?
6
On which page?
on 3.
3, number 6. How long will it take to triple an investment if interest is 1.8% compounded monthly? You're gonna need a formula, which I will provide, but which one are you going to use?
P equals,
AV.
F, no, it's A equals PRT.
Yeah.
Per. Per. A equals
It's
PERT.
it's not a payment, so it's.
A equals PRT.
Okay, so I heard somebody say something good. Somebody said it's not a payment, so therefore it will not be FV or PV. Those are payments. Then I heard somebody say PERT. No!
It's A equals
This is compounded
so
monthly.
A equals P.
Compound.
This is the formula
1 plus R N.
when we are compounding monthly.
You said PERT, Dana.
No, everyone else is saying PERT.
Everybody was saying
I was
PERT.
conforming. I was conforming.
Okay.
He was very just say A equals P and stuff.
Now, I wanna triple my investment. Do I know what my investment is?
Yes.
A equals 3.
Yeah, I don't care what my investment is. I just know I'm gonna end up with 3 times it. So if you wanna start with $1, you can end up with $3. If you wanna start with 25, end up with 75. If you wanna start with X, end up with 3X. It makes no difference. Pick a number, end up with 3 times it. 1 plus, my interest rate is 0.018. Compounded monthly means divided by 12. And I wanna know how many years it's gonna take.
Yep.
Right? Now, here's why your starting amount doesn't matter. The first step to doing this problem is to divide by that number. Now, I have a 1, so it isn't gonna matter, but if you started with 25 and ended with 75, first thing you're gonna do is divide by that number, and you're gonna get a 3 over here. Okay? So now we're going to log both sides, because we gotta pull that exponent down. You can't solve for it when it's up there, you need it to come down. So log 3 equals 12t log 1 plus 0.018 divided by 12. Now, I understand that that looks terrible, but it is so easy. Stop and think. This is what we're solving for. Don't we need to take this number right here and divide it by 12 and divide it by that?
Does it matter which word you go?
No. Isn't that what needs to be done?
Yep.
So that's what I'm gonna type on my calculator. I'm gonna type log 3, divide, or close the parentheses, divided by 12, and then take that and divide it by log 1 plus 0.018 divided by 12, and the answer is, it's gonna take 61.08 years. Right?
1234. 1237. Wait, you got
What are you
1250.
talking
You got
about?
1250.
No, 1246.
47. 47.
46.
Yeah, 48.
Negotiating lunchtime, goodness gracious.